Hey guys, this is Oracle Daphne. My name is Beth, and I'm back today to do a really inspired video for this timeline shift I felt yesterday. And I got confirmation on the timeline shifting guides that the timeline has shifted for the better, which normally, let me just say, I worry a lot about the timelines, honestly. Because of certain things that could come to pass and things can get kind of chaotic. But if the timeline's shifting for the positive, then that means something collectively has shifted for the better. And I wanted to do a tarot reading today to see, okay, like what is going to be affected on the personal level, like in your personal life. I do want to check my audio really quickly before I begin. There we go. Okay. Hopefully my audio is good. I just set these cards down and this charm wanted to come out. This is my favorite charm. So I'm just gonna leave it there. Before I begin, I do want to say a big thank you to everybody who has been supportive of me during this whole time. I have felt last couple of days a tremendous amount of anxiety and stress. I don't know entirely where it's coming from. So I've decided that I have to be careful about my energy, how much energy I'm expending. I have tried to do every day a video on IG and a video on YouTube, like almost every day now. And since I started doing that again, I actually have received less donations than I was before, when I was just giving you guys an update on me living out of my car. So I'm actually producing a lot of work, and there's essentially no support for it at all. Since I've started doing that, recording both, like I said, here on YouTube and Instagram, there haven't been any donations at all, I think with the exception of one. So I just want to remind everybody that it's twice as hard to keep up and do this when I have no housing and I'm living in my car and I'm trying to stay inspired and positive and still read, I consider this a job. I consider this work. So I ask that everybody be respectful and please donate if possible. There's links below each video. If I don't get it into the description box today and the video hasn't fully processed until tomorrow, then sometimes that happens. But essentially, all the links to donate are under every video that I have. So all donations are really appreciated, especially through Cash App, Venmo, or PayPal right now. GoFundMe takes like 3 or 4 days. So I appreciate all the donations. I did want to say that, and I wanted to say that I did feel this timeline shift yesterday, and I did feel that it was very positive, and I wanted to lay out a spread to see, okay, like what is going to be the positive things that are coming through or shifting and changing from this timeline shift. Typically, like I said, I'm not a big fan of timelines, where things have been going, essentially. When we look too far into the future, most psychics would agree that things are not headed in a positive direction. There's a lot of stuff that could come about that is still in play that could come about that's very bad for this planet. If we're trying to look on the positive side, if a timeline shifts and my guides have said it's going to be positive, then despite some of that other stuff that could still be coming to play, there's going to be some good things that we have to look forward to that I think people are going to really enjoy and like. So I want to see what we get. I pulled these two cards, the Empress and the Strength card, and my Starfish pendant, which I keep in my charm bag. And this is my favorite one. And I got this when I lived in Omaha, and I wanted something to represent the energy of things being okay. You know, sometimes we get under pressure, we feel under pressure, and all we need is somebody to tell us that things are going to be okay. And we put pressure on ourselves, whether it's work or school or life, we put pressure. And so some of you just need to take the pressure off yourself and be like, yeah, I'm going to make it and I'm going to be okay. Some of you just need to know, like, you're going to make it and you're going to be okay. and have confidence and faith that God's going to deliver some way, somehow. I have to tell you, some of the people that have come through me, I'm going to shout out to Tan May, and I'm going to shout out to Sarah, Becca, Lauren, they've been longtime supporters of my channel and me, and they absolutely come through. Every time they have come through for me, it's been like I've been totally SOL, and I've needed their support. So they've been incredibly generous and kind to me through this whole process. So when I shout out to them, they've just been amazing. But essentially, it's kind of like that, like when you're really SOL, you have to have more faith and trust that things are going to be all right. And sometimes you have to say, okay, God, show me that you're real. Show me spirits. Make room for me. Show me that there's people that are going to show up for me. And every time I've done that and I've stepped aside and I've gone out of my own way, miracles do happen. So some miracles could happen in this timeline shift for you. Now, again, I felt this timeline shift yesterday. That was May 10th, 2024. How it's going to apply or like shake out for you might be different for every person. Oh, I wanted to say this before I really get into this, the reading. People have repeatedly asked me to do sign-by-sign readings. They've been asking me to specify who I am talking to. So essentially, if you're one of those people that's wondering who I am talking to, then this is not a reading for you. Because essentially, I do collective readings now. All of the readings are collective. All of the messages are meant to be collective. And if you found this video and you have the patience and the time to watch it, then it would be meant for you. If you do not have the patience and the time to watch it, in the sense that you're looking for a reader who's just going to timestamp everything and be super hyper specific about signs so that you can skip ahead to whatever is going to be applicable for you, watch it when you're in your car driving, and then chew it up and spit it out and then come back again a week later for the next round. That's not for me. That's not you. That's not the person that's watching this. Now, I'm saying this not to be mean to anybody who's watched me for a long time, but I'm saying this so that people understand who I am now. I'm a person who is in total sync with the universe, in total sync with the flow of my life, in the sense that I've had to give up so much just to be here. And I consider everything that I do now of a higher purpose, or of a purpose for the greater collective. This is not about just me. This is not about just one single person. This is not about whether you're an Aries or a Gemini or a Capricorn. This is not. This is where I do readings and I'm channeling spirit. I'm looking at what comes through from spirit. And if those messages are received in a loving, kind way, or the people are looking for messages that are given in a loving, kind way, then that's for you. If it's got to be specific and timestamped and all that, then this is not the channel for you. You can look back 10 years ago what I was doing, and it was probably more specific, and most people would say that I would probably have more of a following, but I'm really pushing heavily towards the collective side, in the sense that I believe that we attract what we need to hear, we attract what we need in life, we attract the things that where our energy is. So if there's a message that is meant for you, it absolutely will find you. You don't have to look at it specifically in the sense where you don't have to go look and be like, oh, that's an Aquarius video, that's going to be applicable for me. Because I'm going to tell you this, actually, it's the people that I meet, quote unquote, randomly in the middle of the forest or in the middle of the street that deliver messages to me that are the most impactful in my life. Those people impact me in the biggest way. So spirit can come through in all different ways, and I want people to remain open to that. I want people to remember that that is how spirit works. Spirit does not work in time stamps and specific signs every single day. That's just not how spirit works. And I branched out so far, doing stamp readings, doing seed readings, doing bean readings, doing all kinds of, doing charm readings with things in my charm bag, but that most people don't have, that would never even consider charms. So I'm branching so far out just to get the message across that people need to understand that spirit works in unique and divine ways, and it's not about timestamps, and it is not about whether you're an Aquarius, Sun, Moon, or Ascendant. It really isn't. If spirit wants to deliver you a message and you're open to it, That's how it works. Now, if you don't want to listen to the whole video, you're more than welcome to skip ahead. I skip ahead in videos. I like to watch YouTube before I go to sleep. So I'll skip to, watching videos to a random time. I'll scroll to something and then boom, that will be what I'm supposed to watch. So I would ask that everybody try to keep that in mind for the future. Okay, I want to talk about these two cards here and see what I get for what's shifting. Okay, so it's just really fascinating. Okay, so I'm actually splitting this up here just because I feel like, okay, so we have this side and then we have this side. Let's see if I can push them out a little bit this way. Okay, so I'm going to pretend this is the timeline. This is the way things were going with the previous timeline. And this is the way things are shifting. And I'm going to read it in the sense that this is the things that were in play. And one of those things was this reaching, she's reaching her arm out, this sort of overextending of energy or overextending of finances, of overextension, of trying to maybe pay bills or trying to get ahead somehow or just keep up. To me, this is a lot of output. A lot of output. The Empress is like, see all these butterflies? She's creating this. She's doing all of this output. So some of you may be working quite a lot or putting your energy basically all into one basket because she's got this basket. So maybe all of your eggs were in one basket. I think that that's going to be shifting. There's going to be either you're going to be working more than one job or there's going to be more than one income stream. I don't feel like you're going to have to do it all yourself. This is the thing you're shifting. Yeah. The Ten of Wands is where, it's like overburdens. Even like if you're a masculine energy and you're watching this, to me, there's an overburden energy. Now, this might not be you. This could be somebody that, let's just say you're wanting to know about, you're thinking about quite heavily. This could be someone in your life that is overextended. I hear a lot about people's finances, not just my own, where people don't have a lot. So this is like almost the equivalent of working a lot and making very little for some of you, or like saving very little. Money has to go in whatever direction it's got to go in. Now, this is not going to be the case for everybody. I actually feel like on a positive note, some of you were in a very healthy financial position. Maybe you were, working maybe 40 hours a work week and there's stable finances there. So for some of you, that's where you were. And I don't see that as being a negative thing, having a stable job. I don't know what this Five of Pentacles is about. Maybe some of you are just not happy in general. Like maybe the thing on the timeline that's shifting is that maybe you have not been happy doing whatever job that you're doing. Yeah, maybe you're doing it for the money. Maybe you're providing for your family or providing for yourself, or you're just, you're working, whatever it is you're doing, but you're not happy. And this is to me is very, very draining kind of reading because I almost feel like I could really branch off. I had an extensive conversation with the person who I lost when I moved to Omaha about happiness. We talked for so long about happiness. And for those of you who have watched me for a long time, I've talked about happiness. I've talked about how people really, really struggle with this. And it is like with people that have, really solid, stable careers and finances, they're not happy in their love life. And the people that have a great love life, they don't have stable job and finances. So like I've seen this a lot. There's this disbalance in trying to have both, trying to have a balanced career or a balanced, financial future with, family, kids, pets, and the babysitter, whatever it is. God knows how much it costs to have a babysitter now, 20 or 30 an hour. I don't know. It's just a lot. So essentially, it's just like, for some of you, there's something here about how I feel like, okay, this is going to sound weird. There's so many different messages. Just hang on. It's coming. Okay. So I feel like for some of you, there's about to be money that you're collecting. She's got this basket that's coming to you because this is behind her. She doesn't see it. Okay. So the money is coming in. But she doesn't see it, and she's about to collect, okay, on this money. And I say she, but this could be a masculine as well. So maybe there's people that owe you money. Maybe there's people that are going to gift you money. Maybe there's money that's going to be inherited somehow. Maybe there's money coming. Money can come from different ways, different kinds of situations and people. Maybe it's a refund of some kind, but there's money that's coming that you can't see coming that to me is a good solid chunk of change. I want to say at least 3 or 4 grand. It could be more than that. At least 3 or 4 grand. Now, does that mean that's going to be the same for everybody, that amount? No, but to me, there's something about collecting that's coming that was in the previous timeline. Okay, does that mean that's lost? No. That means it's still coming. It was in the timeline before. I don't necessarily feel like that's going to be a problem. I feel like that is still, you're still going to collect on that. But I definitely see that was in this previous timeline. And that's still happening. Now, for some of you, this thing about unhappiness is directly related to your love life. Directly related to, and like there's a quote, and I swear to God, I cannot remember it, who says it, but happiness is essentially when your heart is full and when you're in love. It's that to me, like that's the equivalent of happiness. I can't remember the freaking quote. It's killing me right now. But basically, if you were in love, you would have happiness. If you had love in your life, you would have happiness. Now, some people would disagree with me completely, but that's what I'm thinking here. And you don't even realize it. You think that happiness might be your career, might be money. And you think that happiness is maybe, I don't know, going for a bike ride. And maybe it is. But if you don't have like a romantic partner, like it's going to be really challenging for some of you to be really happy with the things that you've got. That's the thing that's missing. That's the thing that is shifting. For those of you that have not had, and I'm just going to say this, romance in your life and you are really unhappy, this is the thing that is shifting and is going to be a focus in the new timeline. I feel like I don't necessarily feel like it's going to be easier, but I'm saying you are going to need to address it in the sense that you cannot continue in this state of unhappiness thinking, oh, if I just get money over here and if I just do this over there, that you'll be happy. There are people that are what I would consider to be relationship people. And relationship people absolutely need to be in a relationship in order to be happy, literally. Like, it's not about codependency. I don't give a shit what anybody else fucking says. It's not. It's actually literally like their programming is you have to be in a relationship, period, or else you're going to be miserable for the rest of your fucking life. And honestly, there are people that are just really, they say that they're really, really good and happy without relationships. And they have reason to be. Okay, there are some people that have some programming, and I call it programming, but I mean some serious astrology in their chart where it's just like no matter what they do, they meet some very karmic people and learn some very hard karmic lessons, and it's really, really hard for them to be happy in a relationship. So this might be very painful for you on some level. Look at the Queen of Swords here. this lesson to me might be very painful, because you might be like, well, yeah, Beth, I have tried to be in a relationship and it really sucks. And, this is all true, but I've tried to be in a relationship and it's just very painful. But nevertheless, this is what we're dealing with. This is the thing that we're working on. Now, does that mean, you're going to meet your person and everything's going to be happily ever after? Because here's the thing. We have to work. We have to do the work on ourselves. And work on our attitude, and work on our approach, and work on our resistance, because I feel like some of you are heavily, and I'm just going to say this straight up. Now, you have reason to be resistant, okay? I'm not going to invalidate you here, but I am going to say you are you're heavily resistant to being in a partnership. Now, you might be in a partnership already. For some of you, those of you who are in a partnership, you might have a person who's bringing in some bacon and some finances, but she's really unhappy, or you're really unhappy for some reason. Like, she might, like you might be married to this person. There might be finances, but I don't necessarily feel like, for some of you, I don't know why this Empress would be painful, but to me, there's an energy of painfulness with this Empress here. This is where she's been, and this is the pain that the line is shifting in, where you will need to be addressed. Bitterness, hatred, anger, pain, suffering, sorrow, loss, mistrust, tragedy. You know what I mean? Like, to me, this is like the Queen of Swords. It can be, to me, one of the most pained people, because she has been hurt tremendously. And she's grown cold over time. She is icy, okay? Queen of the North. She once lived in a warm place, but then she moved to the North because her heart had frozen over, and all she wants is revenge. To me, this is a magical kingdom, and so this is the story of the Queen of Swords. So the Queen of Swords is out for blood. The Queen of Swords does not trust Jack. The Queen of Swords is pain, suffering, sorrow, loss, everything that has been done to her, she will get exact eye for an eye for. I don't necessarily feel like these are two people, although if you are the Queen of Swords and you identify with the Queen of Swords, you might have some Empress energy behind you. You might have some Ace of Pentacles behind you. To me, the Empress energy is creativity. So you have creativity and positive energy and finances at your back. The problem is though, for those of you who are married, for those of you who are looking for love, you have to deal with this pain somehow. You have to deal with this Queen of Swords energy, and it's not even a person for most of you. It's just the energy of the Queen of Swords is yeah, I've been there, done that, and I don't want to do it again. So she doesn't want to date at all. So she doesn't want to go out ever. She just wants to stay at home and do nothing. Essentially, she'd rather read a good book than go out and date and have sex. Honestly, this is the Queen of Swords energy. Not 100%, but that to me is the bitterness of the Queen of Swords, the result, the byproduct of a marriage that's gone bad. Now, you might be in a situation where you might be within a relationship or a partnership that's gone bad, and there's some bitterness. There's some, I want to say revenge element. Eye for an eye. To me, it's about exacting pain. It's about exacting, not being able to forgive, not being able to create a positive win-win. So let's just say we were talking in astrology. This would be Gemini energy with the Sagittarius shadow. Okay, the Sagittarius shadow is a person is about creating. The Sagittarius is about creating win-win for everybody. But the Gemini is not. The Gemini does not. The Gemini looks at all of the details and all of the books, and mathematically computerizes it and puts it all in on an Excel spreadsheet, and then puts it down, and at the end of the day goes, yeah, no, they fucked me over. I'm gonna go for blood. Whereas a Sagittarius might do that, but most of the time the Sagittarius is going to be, well, I think it's better for us to try to create a win-win and go our separate ways. Let's hug and say goodbye. That's the Sagittarius, or the Sagittarius might even say that we're still friends. The Sagittarius might go above and beyond to try to salvage the relationship. But the Gemini won't. The Gemini will cut with the sword, it's just like, no. So to me, there's, collectively speaking, there's a shifting energy that needs to be recognized from self and ego into more of I want to say a friendly place. It's almost like, to me, the Queen of Swords creates this like crack up the middle of the reading. It's like almost like the divide from I don't know, like if this was a war zone, you know what I mean? Something got hit and then there's like a crack in it because of the damage. And the thing about this is that I don't actually see the shifting. Is actually so fascinating to me because it's not even like what you guys are thinking. In some way, I wish I could say, okay, guys, guess what? Like, all of your dreams are going to come true, and everything that you're wanting right at this moment is you're going to shift into this positive direction, and it's going to be amazing. Now, for some of you, I feel like a marriage, if you were to get married on this timeline, you're going to have a lot of stability through that marriage. If you are not already married, there will be great stability there and a lot of love there. And these are cards that can go supernova, okay? I talk about supernova. Supernova is where two sun cards come together and it's like this burst of positive energy. I can't say that that's where you are right now. See, because these came out kind of in the middle a little bit, and it's hard to tell. It depends on if you're in a relationship. I don't feel like that's you. If you're going to get engaged or if you meet somebody new, I feel like that is positive and possible for you to get into a very loving relationship and to have a lot of stability and finances there. Like if you want to go do something, you're never going to have to worry about finances there. You might actually be friends first, too, because we have the Strength card as well. But the thing that I'm having this issue with is this Queen of Swords energy sort of in this middle, which is like the crack up the middle of the reading, which is like a divide of some kind. Kind of like with the timeline shift of what I'm trying to say is, in order to go forward, you're going to need to address this energy. Any conflict energy, any back and forth energy, that will need to be addressed first before you move forward in these other energies. And even let's just say hypothetically, you were to try to get into a new relationship, you'd still need to kind of work some stuff out. There's things to be worked out. And the ego. It's almost like an ego death. For some of you, this is like an ego death. This is, to me, is dramatic. And I don't even know why I feel like it's dramatic, but it's dramatic for some of you. Some of you, and this is going to be very hard to swallow, but I'm just going to say this. Some of you are not going to be able to make this leap. You're going to stay in your ego. And you're going to kind of be stuck in this past. you're going to cling on to this bitterness or this energy of the hatred or the struggle, or for some of you, just conflict or drama, even. Let's just say the drama, whatever the drama is. Some of you are not going to be able to make this leap. I feel like some of you, this change, the shifting timeline is requiring you to let go of this crap. Like, for real. And some of you are shaking your head and you're going, well, I can't do that. I can't forget what this person has done. I can't forget that I've dated all these assholes, and I can't forget the experiences that I've had, and I can't forget what they've done. And that might be true. All, again, validating all of the facts, everything that you're saying. But in order to move forward, you're going to have to find something in your heart that's loving. This is a time for rest. We got the Four of Swords. This is a time for strength. Any tests, any things that you're going through, you might feel very tested at this time. Things that are shifting is, some of you, it's weird. Some of you that have, again, stability, you might feel tested. Some of you that may have had a full-time job may feel tested in some way, whether it's relationship-wise or within your career. I'm going to look for some of these other things, because to me, the theme here is sort of like a bridge, what I would say like a bridge is. It looks to me like a bridge. But in order to get across the bridge, you're going to have to pay a toll. It's like the Queen of Swords stands at this bridge, at the end of the one bridge, and you're on another side. And she's like, in order to cross this bridge and to get to this other stuff, this other timeline, which I do feel like is positive. To me, it's not negative. We don't have a lot of negative stuff on this side. So to me, it's just, she says, you're going to have to pay this toll. You're going to have to cough up the XYZ dollars. You're going to have to say you're sorry. You're going to have to put down the sword. You're going to have to make amends. You're going to have to make things right with the people in your life. To forgive yourself. You're going to have to forgive others. You're going to have to let shit go, and you're going to need to figure out how to create healthy boundaries and have healthy relationships in order for you to move forward. She's going to whatever, those of you who are watching, to me, this is like a very, very challenging test. It's almost as if, too, she is saying a little bit like, you're going to also need to take this pill. And this pill is about learning the realities of a relationship. And that as much as you want to have a fantasy relationship or a perfect relationship, it's just not possible. You're going to have to accept the realities of life and the realities of what it's like to have a real relationship, and it's going to require give and take, and it's going to require strength, and it's going to require, it's going to be stressful at times, and you're going to have to rely on your courage and your wisdom to get you through. You're going to need to grow a pair for some of you, and you're going to need to summon your courage to do something bigger than yourself. And think about other people other than yourself. And that is what a relationship is going to require. And some of you, this is a pill that the Queen of Swords is saying you've got to take, because you, up until this point, have not accepted that is what needs to happen. You haven't learned that yet. You haven't learned how to create a relationship that's going to last, or how to have a relationship even for some of you. There's going to be a test within a relationship that if you're in a relationship now, this could be anybody in your life. It doesn't have to be, it does not have to be, let's just say, like a marriage partner. It could be anybody in your life. But there's going to be a test. and it's going to be very draining, and you're going to need to like take a time out like afterwards. You might fall asleep somewhere, or you might just want to rest in bed, or you might just want to like cool down somewhere, maybe go for a drive somewhere, go get some ice cream or something. It just feels like you're gonna need, it's a test. And I feel like actually it's gonna be good, because it's going to show you or another person where your boundaries are, what you're going to put up with, how tough you are, what it is that you're expecting or not expecting out of a relationship. It's going to show them what to expect within a partnership with you. And it's going to be like, wow. It's like, to me, it's like a wow moment. Like someone, like, to me, this is a test. Someone is going to test you in this way that will lead actually to, I would say, a marriage. Like, let's just say you're in love, like, you're in love with your best friend, or you have like a best friend, or there's some interest that you have that maybe you're friends with. I don't know. A lot of people have options. Even if, let's just say you have like a boyfriend or girlfriend, it could test the relationship to where they decide, or you decide, okay, I'm going to hit the road. Like, this is too challenging. This is too much real life. I can't handle it, and I want to leave. Or they decide, no, like, they stand with you on this bridge, and they say, I'm going to stand with you on this. I'm not going to leave. It's kind of like that beautiful moment, I think, in like Saving Private Ryan, where he says, no, I'm not leaving these people. I'm not going to leave these people behind. It's like almost like a test of loyalty, or a test of courage, or a test of like what you're willing to sacrifice, or a test of your love for somebody. And I have to say this beautiful thing about the friendship thing, because we have the strength card, and to me this is all about friendships. You might, in this timeline, you might develop very, very strong friendships. Really, really strong. You might meet a lot of people and develop really healthy, positive, strong friendships, or work on developing your friendships, because there's a lot of people here, and they're all kind of connected to this strength card here, in some regard. And so I feel like that is something that is in the new timeline, which I feel like is very healthy. You may be developing your sense of community, maybe doing something within the community that's positive, like, like joining a community garden, or becoming part of a church, or joining a church group, or volunteering at a library or something. You're going to be doing something in which you're part more of a community, which is healthy. I almost feel like some of you are either going to be the lifeline for someone that's in the need of help, or are very, very stressed out, or they're going to be the lifeline for you. And I say lifeline, it's just somebody that's going to be there for you. Like, I feel like this is somebody who's going to be there. Like, there's someone that's going to be there for you. And it's very special. It's almost like, I don't know, I keep seeing there's this older movie with Frank Sinatra where I think it's Frank Sinatra, I'm pretty sure. I think it's called Pal Joey. And at the end of the movie, and I know I'm ruining it, but at the end of the movie, he's like, he tells Kim, I think her name is Kim, I don't remember. I think her actual name is Kim, I don't remember the character's name. But he tells her, he's like, get out of here, beat it. Get out of here, I don't want to talk to you ever again. Go home, whatever. And she looks at him, and she stands her ground, and she just looks at him and doesn't leave. And then he tells it to her again, and she just looks at him again, and she shakes her head or does something, and she just follows him a few more steps, and she refuses to leave. It's sort of like someone fighting for you. It's really sweet. I don't know. It's making me cry. And to me, that's love, you know? And then finally, he's like, all right, kid, let's go. And they go on their trip together. I forget exactly what he says to her at the end, but it's just this great part, you know, where it's just like she's fighting for him. She's fighting for him. She, like, yeah, if she took it to heart, you know, that he really wanted her to leave, she would just be gone. But she doesn't. She stands there and she takes it, you know, and she's like, I'm not leaving. I don't know. To me, that's love. It's a lot stronger. To me, this is like old school. Like, this is almost like learning about like old school love, old school romance, old school, like, because nowadays people just ghost you. Like, they don't care. You know what I'm saying? It's like done. It's already done before it even begins. But like the old school romance, is like things last forever. It's like epic, you know? Like, you know what I mean? Like, you know, grandparents like stay together for 50 or 60 years. Epic. You know, I mean, that's epic. Nowadays, people don't even stay together for like 3 months. A long-term marriage is 7 years, or maybe it's like not even. Maybe I think the average would be like, I think the average was actually only 2.5. From the last time I heard. I don't know, you have to check the statistics on that. I don't remember. But anyways, the point here is that this is epic. Okay, this is epic romance, epic reading, in the sense that this timeline has some old school energy. Like, it's shifting into this old school energy where it's very strong. The energy is very strong. And you're going to, if you do get married or if you do stuff during this time, it feels like there's nothing that's going to be able to break it. If you get into, and if you have a special bond with somebody, it's going to become unbreakable. Like, it's in a healthy way. I have talked to clients about things where they're unhealthy attachments and things like that. To me, this is not an unhealthy attachment. This is where, you know, somebody decides to stand with you, to stick with you through time, through the hard life stuff. You know, they hold your hand, they hold your hair back, they show up for you. It's consistent. There's a certain kind of, you know, you can see it's like this, she's standing on this rock. Someone also might put you up on a pedestal, or like you might put somebody else up on a pedestal, or they may look really up to you. That's what I want to say. To me, this is also could be a glow up for some of you. This is like gaining in power, gaining in speed, some kind of improvement in status, like serious improvements in status for the collective. That's what I want to say. Or just an improvement in your situation. Let's just say it's not status, like, because some people don't even care about status. Let's just say it's just an improvement in your situation. I feel like there's improvements coming, definitely improvements coming in your situation, whether that's work or whether that's family or whether that's friendships. I feel like there's improvements coming. I do feel like someone is going to be giving their partner an ultimatum, which is like kind of something the equivalent of, are you going to be able to stand the test of time and go through this hard stuff with me, or are you not? And I feel like there is someone that's watching that has a person that's not capable of doing that, or is going to choose not to. For the most of you, there is also Michael. I don't know if you've watched any Michael J. Fox acceptance speeches. He did this speech, where he talked about his partner, who stood with him after he got his diagnosis of Parkinson's, and it made me cry just because his voice caught, and he was emotional, and you could tell that she stood by him through his whole thing. And to me, that's what love is. That's standing through by somebody else's side through their stuff. And it's give and take. It's a relationship. So I feel like there's some element of that here where someone is going to stand by you. It's like that song, Stand By Me. It's like someone is really going to stand by you. That's what I want to say. It's really beautiful too. But you guys should watch it. I'm going to see if I can find the link to the one where he talks about his wife and how she did that and what she did. Because I'm a huge Michael J. Fox fan, but after through all of his stuff, I didn't realize what that would mean for his partner, what that would mean for his family in order to stand by him like that. It takes very strong people. I want to shout out to it's going to make me cry. It would be my grandmother, Alice. I think, was it great-grandmother Alice in spirit, who my great-grandmother died 11 days after my grandmother was born. And so my great-grandmother Alice stepped in. And it's like that kind of person, who has that huge heart. I feel like there's some big, big heart energy here on this timeline. And whether it comes through a deceased loved one, or whether it comes through a friend, or whether it comes through family, I feel like it's huge, huge, big, big love energy. And I don't know how you're going to see it show up in your life, but I feel like you're going to see it, and it's going to be really awesome. But you might not, for some of you, you might not see it right away, and you also might really struggle, I think, in the beginning of this timeline shift with some of the other harder tests of ego and like resistance and allowing the good to come in and really seeing the bigger picture. My phone is shutting down, guys. I have to get going. I send everyone big hugs and big kisses. Thank you so much for watching. All the best and take care. And I'll talk to you guys again soon. Bye, guys.